All right. Welcome back, everybody. Birds and Swords. How's it going, Alyssa?
Going good.
Great. Special guest in the house tonight. We got Drew with us. How's it going, Drew?
Living the dream.
Living the dream. Very Wisconsin thing to say. I hear people say that up here all the time. Living the dream. So Drew's been my buddy for ever since I've been up here, I guess. Yeah. So our friendship started based around video games.
Yeah, it did.
So we both worked together in the game industry, and we quickly found out that we played all the same things. So what were some of the first things or first games we had in common? What year was it?
Shoot. It was probably around 09 or 010. My guess would be 09.
Yeah. I moved up here in the fall of 09.
Yeah, so it must have been 09 then. Like right away.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
I remember or at least my first launch was Assassin's Creed 3 and Tekken 7. Those came out on the same day. Do you remember that?
Yeah. No, now that you say Tekken 7, I totally remember that one. The only one that I remember from like those days is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. That's like the one that line around the block. It was insane, that launch.
And I also remember the first Batman. What was it called?
Arkham Asylum.
Arkham Asylum. Yes.
That was a good one.
That was in that wheelhouse too. So we were playing PS3. I think we both had PS3s, so we were rocking out PS3s.
I also had a 360, but yeah. That was like as I was shifting back to PlayStation.
Yeah. So we definitely had all that stuff in common. So we started talking about games. And then when did you move in here? Because we were roommates for a long time.
Yeah, that would have been, I don't know, a couple of years after that. Probably it was when after I got back from Florida, which would have been fuck. Can I say fuck?
You can say fuck.
I can say fuck? Okay.
Yeah.
You can talk about weed too, I found out.
Nice.
She found it out.
The true genesis of our relationship.
Yeah.
It had to have been 2010 or 2011. My guess would be 2011.
Right. And we went and got Ruben in there somewhere.
Yes. Yeah, Ruben was 2010.
Yeah. Okay. So Ruben is the pug dog. I just got
the greatest dog.
Yes. I just got done babysitting him for while Drew was getting married in Hawaii. Congratulations, by the way.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Newly married. But yeah, so we started sharing all that. I think as far as our gaming friendship goes, it really took off when we lived together.
Yeah.
So we have adjacent rooms, obviously, and we definitely were always stepping into each other's rooms to see what each other was playing. So I just come in, sit on the floor, sit on his bed, and watch him play Mass Effect or
a lot of Kingdoms of Amalur back in those days.
Yes,
a lot of the show.
Yep.
Pretty good mix though. We both played a lot, basically everything. So.
Yes. Yeah, we're both very. Or we were. We'll get to that. We were both very diverse gamers. We played a lot of different stuff. We liked RPGs. We liked playing competitive shooters and then sports games.
Yeah, definitely.
Alyssa's already fallen asleep. I said sports games. Have you ever played Kingdoms of Amalur?
No.
Okay. Kind of a forgotten...
gem. Such a great
fantasy RPG, I guess you would call it. Action RPG. Made by a company. That company went under. It was actually owned by Kurt Schilling. If you don't know who Kurt Schilling is, he was a Major League Baseball pitcher. One of the best.
Really good.
Really out there personality.
You know about the bloody sock? You familiar with the bloody sock?
No.
Famous World Series moment. He's got giant cut on his ankle and he pitches a complete game.
Yeah.
Why?
He pitched a gym. He had an ankle injury, like some kind of laceration. Yeah. And while he was pitching, he had white socks on. And it just starts bleeding out during the game.
What cut him? How did
I don't remember
happen?
what
I don't remember either, but it was nasty.
Didn't think baseball was a bloody sport.
Well, sometimes it can be.
Playoffs.
But it was I think it was his landing foot. Yeah. Not going to get too into sports, but it definitely would have affected his pitching. But anyway, he started the company that released Kingdoms of Amalur, which was really well received, and then the company was super mismanaged and it went under.
And it was heavily funded by the state of Rhode Island through tax benefits and whatnot. It was a huge issue when it all happened.
It was weird.
It was crazy.
Yeah, Schilling's, he's out there anyway. He's a weird personality. He's probably a QAnon or something, I'm assuming. So anyway, so we were constantly sharing video games, and we talked about how you and Zach play and watch each other play.
Yeah.
And playing at the same time, and we definitely did a lot of that. What are some of your favorite franchises?
So, my all-time favorite franchise is, and probably always will be, Mass Effect. I love the story. I love, especially in the first one, the true RPG elements, a lot of the planetary exploration, I'm like the only one in the world who likes the Mako as far as exploration goes. But
Is that the vehicle that's like impossible to control?
Everybody says it's impossible to maneuver, but there was a learning curve to it, and it was some wonky physics, but like once you got it, you could really fly around in that thing.
Yeah.
But like, so yeah, especially the first one, and obviously 2 and 3 are awesome conclusion and like the meat of the story of Commander Shepard. So love that trilogy. Another one I like a lot, Borderlands, that whole franchise.
Yes.
Played them all. I've been doing some Tiny Tina.
Did you get your save file back? Did I mess anything up while I was over there?
Have not played since then because my other current favorite and man, one of my favorite games ever, Valorant, has just still continues to take up almost all of my gaming time.
Yeah.
For those not familiar, Valorant is a 5v5 competitive shooter, PC only at this point. They've got a mobile beta actually right now, and then there was talks of a PlayStation.
There's a
Xbox
mobile
launch.
beta for Valorant?
Yeah, and
Wow.
sounds just as terrible, or looks just as terrible as it sounds, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
something with precise aiming doesn't seem like it would translate to mobile very well.
Yeah, for
But yeah,
sure.
5v5 competitive shooter, just super fun. Kind of like the Counter-Strike model, plant, defuse the bomb, or kill everybody.
Nice.
Yeah, really fun.
So Mass Effect, Valorant,
Borderlands, throw Subnautica in there. That's one you showed me. Like, I love Subnautica. That's one of the best, like, just pure exploration games I've ever played. Maybe the best. Never knew what to expect when you're playing those games. Any moment where you feel safe is a moment to look out and take a step back and wonder what's going to attack me next and come at me from the depths.
Alyssa, have you played any Subnautica?
No, but I watched Zach play.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's a very hands-off, like it doesn't tell you, like you listen to, 20
Couple
audio
logs.
Yeah.
recordings?
It's
Yeah.
sparse.
And that's like it. And even those are like, there's something over here,
Yeah,
west.
Just go look in this general direction. You'll find something.
And yeah, we shared a lot of experience. Like I turned you onto that game.
Yeah,
you showed
totally.
me stuff, so we definitely expanded our horizons just by watching each other play stuff. And obviously, you used to play a lot more than you do now.
Oh yeah.
So
definitely.
your life has changed since last November, around Thanksgiving,
Yep,
right?
November 23rd.
Or actually the November before that.
Yeah.
So you are a father.
I am. Yep.
So tell us how your gaming habits have changed since little Ben has introduced himself to the world.
Well, it's really just changed like the hours that I am able to game. Like it's tough to describe, but like during the day, there's no time. I can't wake up, chill out, play a quick round of whatever. It's wake up to Ben, and then when he goes to sleep, usually I get 3, maybe 4 hours to play a few games, but it actually sounds like a lot when I say that, 3 4 hours a night. But no, like when and you know this about me, like I'm the kind of person who, if I'm really into something, like I can go 12 hours straight, get out of my bed, have some lunch. That's it. I can play a game that I'm really enjoying for 12, 13, 14 hours straight, and like I could make that my whole day.
Are you really into raising a kid?
It's a lot of fun. Like I was not someone who like my younger adult life wanted kids, and now that it's happened, it's a lot of fun.
Really?
Like, you're never sure what they're gonna do, what they're gonna learn that day. Like
He is super cool.
How old is he?
He's like a year and a half.
Yeah,
Just about 18 months.
Well, even a couple times when I was over there, just like playing with a simple toy with him. Remember, I was playing with something with him where you had to turn it to make the noise.
His DJ table,
yeah. You have to like turn it to make the noise, and he was like slapping it and stuff. And then when I showed it to him a bunch, and then he started putting his hand on it and turning it, and I just had this moment where I'm like, oh my god, I taught him that.
He learned how to spin thanks to you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Wow. Future DJ
Jazzy Ben. Yeah. So tell me about, does Ben watch you play video games?
So not a ton. I try not to play when he's awake around, just give him as much attention as I possibly can. But occasionally, like if he's waking up from a nap and I tried to sneak a game in or whatever, I'll go grab him and I'll finish off whatever I'm doing. And he's very interested in that. And especially like he loves PlayStation 5 controllers. I think it's like the lighting scheme.
Me too. Yeah, me too. Actually,
they are a beautiful piece of art.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's like the lights that flip on the touchpad and whatnot. He loves the PS5 controllers, like the touchpad and everything that lights up. So like if I'm finishing up whatever I'm doing, he immediately will go for like my controller, and he'll try and smack the buttons around, do whatever. it got to the point where I finally had one of my PlayStation 5 controllers, like, it got like joystick drift, so decided to retire it, and that officially became Ben's PlayStation controller. So he can mess around with that.
It's the white one, isn't it? Like the launch pack-in one.
Yeah.
And he has a Switch Pro controller, I think, too, doesn't he? He's totally destroyed.
That's a sturdy piece of machinery right there, because I still use that thing and it still works. But he's thrown that thing around a little bit.
Well, the Switch Pro controllers are solid. Do you have a Switch Pro controller?
No.
It's heavy. Like that's definitely the heaviest controller I own right now.
It's probably my favorite controller other than the PS5 controller.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that for sure.
So he's playing it. Does he think he's playing what's on the TV, or?
He's figured out, like, so he can tell.
Again, he's a year and a half old.
Yeah, like if I give him a controller and I'm watching TV, like there's a 2-minute period where he's not sure, he'll play with the controller or whatever, but eventually he always realizes that he's not actually in control of what's going on the screen. But when he's like got a controller and the game is open, he can tell, and he'll watch and he'll interact with the controller, not entirely interact with what's happening on screen, but he'll recognize that like he's doing something on the controller and something is happening
that's making something move on the TV.
Like he's recognizing the cause and effect there.
So what games has he played?
He has played Pokemon Legends Arceus. That was his first. Like I just left the controller on the ground while I ran and got him something, and I came back and he was walking around the world. He fell into the water and died. But it was awesome.
So that was his first video game death?
That was his
Pokemon,
first death,
and he drowned.
Yep, he drowned.
All right.
Did not call him the mon in time. And actually, like, the other one that stands out was, like, just today. And the white PlayStation controller, until today, had a little bit of battery left in it, so we'd give it to him and just kind of hope that he didn't turn the controller on, because then PlayStation turns on.
Right.
Whatever is on our Apple TV is now in the background, and it's just a pain going back through it, because he's also obsessed with TV remotes, so we don't have those anywhere within reach. But yeah, he actually turned on my PlayStation today, and somewhere in there got me into God of War 3. Don't know why or how it was downloaded on my PlayStation 5, but I let him run around in that for a little bit, and he was having fun being Kratos.
How do you have God of War 3 on your PS5?
I honestly have no idea.
You must have bought it digital
I had to
era ago. Yeah.
But actually, I played quite a bit of that today. I got like 3-4 hours in.
So he's at least got the skills to know that when he pushes something on a controller, he sees what happens on the TV, and he can put those two things together, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, he really likes all sorts of remotes. Like if you just give him a TV remote, he really likes that too. And like he'll mess with the volume and the channel, and he notices that he's doing something, and then...
And he has the Fisher-Price controller, right?
he does have
so
the Fisher-Price one.
So did you see this story today, Alyssa?
No.
Okay, so there's a Fisher-Price like video game controller. It makes noises when you push the buttons and stuff, but it's actually pretty sturdy.
Yeah.
Does it have an analog stick even?
Yeah, it's got a
analog
joystick
stick
and a 4-direction pad.
You know, it's white and it's got the colored buttons and all this stuff. And I saw it, and Drew ended up forwarding it to me. Of course, a modder got a hold of it, modded it to the PC, and beat Elden Ring with
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. With the Fisher-Price controller.
I honestly can't imagine playing Elden Ring, because even when you just push the button and you want the sound effect to play, there's like a solid second delay from when you push the button to when the actual noise. I can't imagine beating Elden Ring.
I saw a girl beat Elden Ring using the Dance Dance Revolution pad, like the one that you plug into your PlayStation.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
I saw her beat the final boss with it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I remember it being a thing a couple of years ago. Like some dude beat Dark Souls on a Guitar Hero guitar.
I remember seeing that.
I totally remember that being a thing.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to do it.
Yeah. So some dude got a hold of that and got it working on his PC somehow, and then beat Elden Ring with it.
Jesus.
Crazy. That's cool that he's starting to put that stuff together at such a young age, and with you being a gamer, I guess too. So what do you think his future looks like? Obviously, you're super into games and you want to share that passion with him. So what do you think that looks like going forward as he gets older? Like what kind of stuff are you going to show him or try to get him into, or are you just going to kind of let him decide?
I'm obviously going to let him do like what he wants, but what he will be introduced to will obviously be what I have laying around the house. So I assume there will be something like simple on my Switch, like a Mario or something along those lines, a Yoshi, a Kirby, something that's super, super simple and like really gets you in the mindset of like, hey, I'm running across this screen with this person that I'm in control of.
Right.
Like while fully recognizing what you're doing. But I'm really excited for him to like, I think I was in kindergarten or first grade when I first played Pokemon. Yeah. Like I grasped it, I understood it. So I'm really excited for him to get to like that age where I can show him Pokemon and I can show him Minecraft and all of those simple yet complex games that kind of teach you how to play video games.
I tried so hard to get my baby brother into Pokemon. So freaking hard. And it was all Fortnite. He's really amazing at video games.
How old is he now?
He's about to be 16.
Okay.
Yeah. And when he was a baby, I made him watch me play video games. I made him try I was like, you're going to be a gamer with me. And he plays totally opposite games of me. We did play Overwatch together for a while, but
it's that age though, and I'm sure his friends play Fortnite.
Yeah,
that's his biggest influence.
Just wanted him to play Pokemon with me.
Like once you get into that competitive mindset, at least for a little boy, it's hard to get out of.
Yeah, and he's super good, so makes sense.
Yeah, and it's even more fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. We'll see what if he's like, hey, Dad, I don't fucking like games. I guess that's okay.
I'll be all right. But
I bet he ends up liking it. Especially, I mean, he's a year and a half. And maybe he'll listen to this someday and be like, what the hell?
Right.
I had a PS5 controller and the PS12 is out.
Yeah. I'll pull it out. I'll be like, yeah, this was it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So we go way back and it's, fun to see how some of your habits have changed as your life has changed a little bit. But yeah, like you said, you still get in some time in the evenings, and I'm surprised you get in as much as you do. You guys binge a lot of TV shows and do all that stuff too.
Luckily, Allie goes to sleep super early, so I've usually got a couple hours there where it's just me. I'm the only one conscious.
A couple gaming hours to yourself.
Myself and Ruben.
Yeah. So you brought up binging earlier. So when we come back on the backside of this break, we're going to talk about some games that we've played too much of, probably.
Oh yeah.
So we'll dig into that. That's gonna be really fun to talk about right after this.
You are listening to Micah and Alyssa on Birds and Swords. Please like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and smash that like button.
Black Bayou Coffee Roasters, based out of Shreveport, Louisiana, but also shipping nationwide, is now offering 13 single coffee origins, 20 different coffee blends, and over 75 different flavors. Black Bayou Coffee Roasters' slogan is, "Life is too short to drink shit coffee." So be sure to visit blackbayoucoffeeroasters.com and use the coupon code GAMERS to receive 10% off your order today. Again, use the coupon code GAMERS and receive 10% off your order. And be sure to tell them Birds and Swords sent you. Drink, stay caffeinated, and game on.
Welcome back, friends, and everyone listening. Let's check in on the birds. So, how are the birds?
They're pretty good. We did have a situation the other day. So, our green sheet conures, we have 3 of them. Riku, Kairi, and Sora, named after Kingdom Hearts. Mm-hmm. Riku's old. He's like 9 years old. Kairi and Sora are like 2 or 3 years old.
Can we talk about how long birds live? Because that doesn't mean 9 is old. So do they live like dog years, like 12 to 15?
The conures will live to be like 50.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when you said they were old at 9, I was like, they live forever.
Older. Yeah. So yeah, he's 9 and they're like 2 or 3. And Kairi started getting weird markings on her wings, and I thought it was just like her adult feathers. So I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then Sora started getting them, and then Riku started getting them. So I looked it up because I was like, it's like little black dots all over the side of their wings. It's because they're vitamin deficient, which is bullshit because I spend $100 on their food a month, and I get them the best shit, and they just don't eat it. They're just picky. So we don't know. I don't want to take them to the vet just to get them some supplement. So we're trying to like force feed them zucchini, and it's just
they don't
a disaster.
like it.
They like eat it and spit it out. So like there's There's just nothing I can do for these birds.
They'll eat chicken nuggets, so
Yeah.
they're cannibals basically, but they
Yeah.
won't eat
They
zucchini.
they'll starve themselves before they eat healthy food. All they want is seed. So now we got to figure out if there's any way
what's
to
the next
avoid
move?
going. Yeah, so they're little brats. That's the update on those little beeps.
Sounds about right.
That's sad, but it's nothing that.
They're fine.
Yeah, they can still fly around and stuff.
Yeah, they're totally
they-
like still little monsters.
They're always in the cage when I'm there. It seems like.
I try to put them away before people come in because some people, I don't want them to get stepped on because like when Zach and I are home, they're like totally free roam. So they walk around the house and they'll go anywhere. And I have a very intense fear of a bird being stepped on. So.
Or remember when I opened the door to go out to the balcony and your birds were free roaming around?
Oh,
and
yeah.
You guys were like, oh my God, no.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah. The birds could just fly out over Lake Michigan and be like, fuck you guys.
Can they all fully fly?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some better than others, but they're all flighted. I don't cut their flight feathers at all.
It's like my one reservation about getting a bird. I could never clip a bird's wings. That's just,
I
like
used
the
to.
definition of evil.
I used to when I was like young, when I was like 6 years old and I had a bird and we would take it into the pet store to get its wings clipped. And then one time they clipped too far and he almost bled to death in front of me. So that was traumatizing.
Yeah.
So now, I mean, there's other reasons too, but I was like, I am never fucking clipping my bird's wings again.
Like at a certain point, it seems like you kind of understand that you're taking something so important to the being of being a bird. Like,
Yeah.
what's a bird that can't fly? It's
It's like their whole
dinner.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like declawing a cat, I
Yeah,
guess.
exactly.
Yeah.
Same kind of thing.
Cutting off my legs.
Well, I'm glad they're doing okay.
Brats.
Just little brats. All right, well, let's dig into. We want to talk about some stuff that we played a lot. Maybe not too much, but stuff we put a lot of time in because we probably loved it, or we just couldn't put it down, some kind of addictive nature type of thing. So we're going to talk about some of those. So let's start with Alyssa. What are some of the games that you've put just insurmountable amount of time in?
Well, my number one that I put the most time in is Hyrule Warriors.
Was wondering when it was coming out.
Yeah, that. And
Do you have a guesstimate on hours or
it's
days?
over
or
700 for sure.
Over 700 hours?
Yeah.
There's still stuff to do?
Yeah, it's because they have so much DLC. And it's just map after map and like challenge after challenge.
Mhm.
And I just keep going because I don't know what else to do. I don't know where to stop. So I am like balls deep in this game and I can't stop. And it's like I said previously, it's not that amazing of a game, but I just can't stop playing.
So you're still playing it?
Yeah.
So when's the last time you played it?
A couple weeks ago, I played it for
Okay.
a few hours. Yeah.
So it's
I don't
something you
play-
pick it up when you need to bash some skulls. Kind
It's
of deal.
super easy to jump back into. It's not a very complex game at all.
Yeah.
A lot of people even say it's a button masher, and it totally can be. I know the combos because I put 700
Yeah.
hours into it, but you don't have to. You can just mash away and totally still get through the game. Yeah, so Hyrule Warriors for sure. My second one would probably be Breath of the Wild. Like I said, that was my quarantine game.
Mhm.
And what's funny about that game is when it came out, I was really anxious to play it because people who never played any Zelda games, they loved it. Like full stop, best game ever. They completed it, did everything. People who played other Zelda games said things like, there's no dungeons. It's not like other Zelda games. It's very different. Not necessarily saying it in a bad way, but it just made me very worried. So I took a really long time to pick it up. And then when I did play it, I was obsessed instantly.
Like everybody.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
happens.
it was just incredible. I mean, from start to finish, I did everything, found all the Koroks. I even upgraded every outfit that he had.
Oh, really?
I did literally, there was nothing left to do in the game. Explored everything. I all the DLC.
So you did do the Guardians DLC?
Yeah, I
And-
loved it.
And you messed around with amiibos.
Yeah.
We saw that.
Yeah, that was pretty much the only time I used amiibos was to get like the resources for the game because the treasure chest drop out of the sky for you. That was really nice.
It's mostly meat.
yeah,
I
it's
found.
mostly meat and flowers.
It's like, here's some meat and wooden sword
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
or something.
The Guardians gave you really nice stuff, but I didn't have the Guardian amiibos at the time,
Mhm.
so I just had like other Zelda game amiibos. Yeah, I put countless hours into that game, especially over quarantine. It was perfect.
Was it a checklisty? Maybe not checklisty. Was it got to complete all the shrines? Got to find. Well, obviously you found all
Obviously,
the seeds.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've.
I did.
I
not.
I don't know if I know anybody else that's gotten all the seeds. Not personally, obviously.
I don't think I know anybody else.
That's
who did it
ridiculous.
either.
I don't.
Yeah, it was crazy.
'Cause
It was stressful.
Did you use the internet?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I used Zelda Dungeon, the interactive map they have on there.
Oh, okay.
I found probably like the first 600 on my own.
Jeez.
And then after that, I was like, fuck this. I
Well,
need help.
You know, if you find them all, I feel like you've seen every bit of the map.
Yeah,
You know
because
what I
they
mean?
take you to really every part of the
Yeah.
map
Yeah.
that you can go to. It was, as far as the checklisty, it didn't start out that way. It was really just exploration. Oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do that. And just continue through the game in any direction I want. I really had no like motive, or I wasn't trying to complete any certain thing in any certain order. And then before I got to the final Ganon fight, I was like, let's do everything. And I did. And then it became checklisty.
Yeah.
So I really thoroughly enjoyed the game leisurely before checking off the marks of finding.
So did you start it in like March of 2020 or whenever we all got locked
Yeah,
down?
it was like right at lockdown.
And then when did you collect your 900th seed?
It was before lockdown was over, I think. No, yes.
So a couple months?
Yeah, it was a few months. And I woke up, sat on the couch, played that game. And when Zach would make dinner, I would like make my Switch portable, walk into the kitchen, continue playing the game, take it to the bathroom. I nonstop played this game.
Wow.
It's all I did. And that was when the dent in the couch happened and we had to get a new couch. So it took a few months and it was over 500 hours, I'm pretty sure, but I did it all, everything. But I'm not as crazy as some people. Like I saw some people online, like they'll make designs by doing certain paths on the map, or
They beat it with the DDR dance pad.
right. There was one person that pushed the beetle salesman, the wandering beetle guy that sells all your shit.
Yeah.
They literally pushed all 3 of the beetle NPCs into one area. It took him, he said, like 100 hours just to push the NPCs into one spot. So that
Hopefully that was quarantine for that guy too.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
and
a
nothing
lot
even
of time.
happens. They're just there together in the same
Look what
place.
I did.
Woo!
Yeah.
So it was nothing that excessive,
Yeah.
but I did put quite a few hours, and I loved every second of it.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Another game would definitely be Final Fantasy 12, which is kind of surprising, probably.
12.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't tell you anything about 12.
I thoroughly enjoyed 12. I feel like a lot of people didn't, and that's fine. I think that it's definitely an acquired taste type of game. A lot of the hours come from the fact that I corrupted my data twice. Right when I got to the end, the first time I had a friend over and she thought it'd be funny to turn it off while it was saving.
Is 12 on PS2?
Originally, and then it
Okay.
came back out for the 4, and
Okay.
it's the Zodiac edition.
Did you put most of your time in on PS2?
Yeah, I would probably say I played the 2 corrupted files, and then I played through a third time. And but I did a lot of. It's very open world in the sense that there's a lot of side quests that will take you around the map, but it's not huge on exploration.
Mhm.
Your side quests you can explore for more treasure and stuff, but there's a ton of like hidden summons you can find like in the other games, but they're a lot harder to find and a lot more difficult to battle. I enjoyed the battle system. People didn't like that you could set up what they were called gambits, and your characters, you would set up their priorities in a fight, basically. So number 1 priority is heal me if I'm below 20% HP.
Okay.
And then second priority is attack the target, and so on and so on. You could set up like 50 gambits and really just set up yourself for success.
So this is all like time spent in menu management.
Yeah, a lot
type
of it is
stuff.
menu management
Got it.
for sure. And then the level up system was very interesting because you had your leveling up and you also had licenses. So you spent basically your experience points on licenses. Like it takes 20 experience points to buy the license for this specific weapon. And then if you buy the weapon, you can't use it unless you have the license for it. So it's very intricate, and I think people had a hard time grasping the whole system, but I loved it, and I put so much time into it. And when the Zodiac edition came out, I put another probably 200 hours into it. I love it. And I love Fran. She's so sexy.
I was going to ask you, is it more of it, because you're more of a gameplay person, not that you don't like storytelling and stuff.
Yeah.
This was a gameplay draw?
For
type
sure,
of thing?
for sure. The plot is interesting. The voice acting is strange. Everybody sounds like they're in a tin can. It's very weird. They must have did something different when they recorded.
Yeah, change your settings.
The plot is very medieval war. Lots of politics that I didn't really care to follow. Some people might like it more. There's weird, like, dead twin brother comes back to life subplot. So the plot's weird. And there's sky pirates, but I guess a lot of the games have that. Final Fantasy weird. I mean, as we know.
Sky pirates, right?
Oh yeah,
Every game's
totally.
So yeah, the very strange plot, but awesome gameplay, sexy characters. give or take, not the orphans. The main character.
Gross orphans.
Yeah, they've had it bad enough.
The first two characters you play as when you open up the game is two orphans, and they're really annoying and really stupid and super ugly. And it's hard to get past that.
Yeah, why would they write them that way?
I don't know. I
How cruel.
never used them in battle or anything. They were just totally useless. Just always the bunny girl, always the sky pirate, and always the runaway princess, for sure, was my party.
But you had a waifu?
Fran.
What's your number one, off topic, what's your number one waifu in any game?
Any game ever? Yeah, I don't know. I gotta really think about that one. I gotta look at my game. No. It's gotta be Fran. It's gotta be Fran.
Fran?
I think it's Fran. Or Tifa.
She got really nervous when you turned that.
No, it's intense. You're on the clock. Okay, cool. Those are all, well, I haven't played 12. I agree with you on the other two. Of course, I haven't played a bunch of Hyrule Warriors. I have played it, and I did finish it.
The main plot, though. The story.
So we're talking
not
like
the adventure mode.
Yeah, we're talking like 30 hours maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
You got me by like
I played the main plot because after you get to a certain spot in adventure mode, it unlocks more treasures that you can get in the main plot. So I played through the main plot 3 times. And that's just the main plot.
Yeah.
So
you're a big I don't ever do that. I don't think you do either. Like, you'll replay games when you're done.
Mm-hmm.
I move on to the next game.
I
platinum some games if it's easy enough to do it like one playthrough, or if I can start doing something else, if the platinum's attainable. But I typically don't replay games.
I've done less and less of that as I run out of time to play games as I get older. But yeah, if there's high value in the replay, I for sure will.
The only games that I ever really replay are usually gameplay focused like that, like the loot cycle in Borderlands. Sure. Like you can do that over and over and over again and keep finding new shit. Like that's usually the kind of stuff that I tend to replay. Yeah. But usually not,
Solid time spent with games though, and some good stuff. All right, Drew, beat that.
Man, I don't even want to tell you how many hours my number one game is. So my most played game ever by a huge margin is Overwatch.
Ooh, who's your main?
My main is Lucio. Lucio is
nice.
Like one of my favorite characters ever, despite the fact that like they really don't have a whole lot of personality outside of a few lines and just
what's your favorite voice line?
That's how you get tinnitus.
I forgot about that one. Why does he even say that?
Because he's got the headphones on all the time.
Yeah, I guess.
And I think it's when he breaks it down. So like, it's supposed to be like big blaring music.
Yeah. Yeah. Overwatch definitely known for its voice lines. Some of them are stupid, some of them are awesome. That one's both. That one's both. Yeah. Violence is usually the answer.
Reinhardt.
Yeah, we can go on all day with those. Okay, so Overwatch, nice.
Yeah, so Overwatch by far.
And we played it a lot together, didn't we?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we played. I looked and I sort of just went through and tallied up like my each season, and it was well over 2,500 hours. Like it was an insane.
Wow.
And this was all on PlayStation? Because didn't you play
PS4.
some on PC?
No, I didn't play Overwatch on PC at all because they still haven't gone free to play for some reason, despite the fact that 2 is releasing very shortly.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was all on PlayStation.
Okay.
Primarily, I think it was like the 2 big seasons were like seasons 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And on each of those 2 like seasons of competitive, I had over 250.
Can you explain Overwatch quickly?
So Overwatch is actually, the first one was a 6v6 hero shooter. You select your character. They're all unique, all have different skills, power-ups, abilities. And you're typically trying to either take over or keep your opponent from moving or capturing the payload is like your typical game mode. But it's super fast paced. It's one of those games where even if you don't particularly like first person shooters, there is a character who will complement your style of play, like the Reinhardt that we were just talking about. He's just a giant German dude who holds up a huge shield. So like if you just want to sit in the front line,
yeah, he looks like a knight in armor kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. You just want to sit in front of your team, hold up your shield, and protect everybody. You can do that. My favorite character, Lucio, he just like speeds around the map healing everybody. and like can boot people off of certain areas, which is really fun. But
I think that's why it was so popular. And I might have said this on a prior episode, how accessible it was to everyone.
Oh yeah,
because it doesn't have like kill death ratio, and I mean it does. It's like hidden in there, kind of.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not dependent upon how many people you kill. It's more objective based. You know, like you said, you would heal. So it's not all about how many kills can you get. It's how you can help the team.
Yeah, if you can not get kills, but you can help your team in other ways, you can be a valuable teammate in Overwatch. And I think that's like, it really brings people together who can't just like, who don't have that super flick fast aim that comes with playing at the highest level. Like you can still be a good Overwatch player without crazy aim or
and there's still characters that cater to people who do have crazy aim. You know, it's balanced.
I'm definitely not somebody that plays even online games ever, and I'm not a huge first person shooter gamer. But this game catered to me even. I liked playing as Zenyatta, I believe it was. The dude that was meditating in the air. He was really balanced, and that's what I wanted. I wanted someone that could heal, but also someone that could do pretty like precise damage. And I loved it. Me and Zach put so many hours into that game when we first started dating. Like probably the only online multiplayer game I've really gotten into.
Zenyatta had a bunch of cool voice lines too. His weren't funny. His were all like life lessons.
Yeah.
They're serious. Yeah. Oh my God. I just learned something playing Overwatch.
All right. So Overwatch. Nice.
Yeah. So Overwatch maybe not as far ahead of number 2 as like I'm making it seem, because number 2 has come out on every platform in the last 20 years. And number 2 is Minecraft. And like I couldn't even begin to total it up. I have bought Minecraft on PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5. I didn't have to buy it on PlayStation 5, but I have it on PlayStation 5. I bought it on Android when I used to have an Android phone. I bought it on the App Store for Apple. I have it on my Switch. I have it on my PC, and I actually bought the Mac version like 15 years ago as well. Like I have bought that game at least 8 times.
Yeah, it's like Skyrim. You can like play it on your refrigerator.
Yeah, right.
if you have that.
Yeah, so like I've bought it in so many different places. I couldn't even begin. Like, but it's over 1,000 hours for sure.
What is so appealing about Minecraft? I could never get into it, so I'm just wondering how you put that many hours into that game.
It is so like at the very beginning when I first played, like the Minecraft you're playing now is not what it was like back in the early days. Back in the early days, it was like a legitimate, you are figuring out how to play this game. Like when you play now, if you want to go in and build a sword, say, like you go in, you open the menu and you find the sword in the inventory and it tells you how to make it. It tells you exactly what of everything you need. In the early days, there was none of that. You had a 3x3 little grid, and if you wanted a sword, you had to go through and see if the ingredients you thought made the sword actually made it. And then you also had to get them in the right like configuration. Like the sword was a stick and then 2 planks, and you had to put them in there in exactly that order, and you had to figure out how to do it. So it was very much like problem solving.
A lot of trial and error in the early days.
Yeah, and it was like, and the more stuff you had, the more you could potentially build. And that leads into like, oh, I love really cool houses. So how can I use this landscape to put a cool house on there that I like want to walk into to start my Minecraft day? Like it's very creative, but at the same time, it was very much like objective problem solving as well. Like,
okay.
How do I actually do this?
So how many worlds do you think you created?
Oh my God.
Different ones. Because I know you spent a lot of time on some and some you tossed.
Yeah, I've got like 4 big ones that I've put like at least 100 hours into each one, but total, I mean, 20 or 25.
Yeah.
Like, and it can be as simple as like, oh, I don't like where I spawned here, I'm gonna start a new one. So like, I don't really count those.
Sure.
But like levels that I've actually like established and played on for a while, probably like 20, 25.
Do you play like the version where those like zombie things can blow you up too?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wow. Is it like cubed Ark? Like, because Ark is you have to like find the resources and build your ship, and
like
you can die.
It totally is. Yeah. And
okay.
If you, like, I feel like it's a little less forgiving than what I've seen of Ark.
Yeah.
Because it's still
Ark
like,
has player invasion, right?
Yes, yeah. Ark is very much like, I know they've got a few different versions.
Like you can build your house and then someone online while you're sleeping for the night can log in and come raid and blow up all your stuff.
Style. Yeah. And I did always appreciate that, like in Minecraft, you could turn all that off. You could just do your own thing. I don't have to worry about some dude coming in and TNTing my stuff.
Nice.
yeah, I don't.
So it's really the creative aspect.
It's very
that's so
much
appealing.
like, and as someone who's always had like an issue finding a good outlet for my creativity, like the second I was in Minecraft, I was like, damn, I can do whatever I want in this world, and that kind of freedom is really cool.
That's awesome. I love that.
And you had some cool stuff. You're
Yeah.
really good at like underground bunkers and stuff. You'd show me what you had, and I'd be like, holy shit, like you did this?
I built a pretty awesome
Pet wolves and
sky
shit.
bridge that I'm very very happy
You should
about.
post some of this in the group.
I can totally do that. Yeah, I can totally do that. But yeah, no, it's
Nice.
so much
Minecraft.
fun, Minecraft.
Yeah. All ages too.
Yeah, it really
It looks like a kid's game, and maybe it is. But
Well, and like that's the other thing. Like back in the day, it very much wasn't. Like I think about trying to teach Ben like how to make a sword or make anything in that game, and you have to know precisely. It's a recipe that you have to follow versus like, hey, this is how you do it. Whereas now they tell you how to do everything. You just have to have what you need.
yeah.
So it's gotten more and more accessible as it's gone on, and I think that's also contributed to how popular it's stayed.
Yeah.
Because it was a lot more niche back in the beginning.
It's made a few dollars.
Yeah.
So what's your third?
Number 3, this one was tougher because I don't really have any like data to go off of for time. So just based on my feeling, I think it's probably Hearthstone. Another super random, different from everything else that I've been playing.
So describe that real quick.
So Hearthstone, formerly Hearthstone Heroes of Warcraft or something like that, is a Blizzard card game. And it's very similar, not very similar, but it's similar enough to Magic and Pokemon where you're playing monsters, you're playing effect cards, and your goal is to take your opponent down to 0 life points.
So it's a card-based battle game.
Yes.
It's a deck building, I guess you'd call it as well, right?
Yeah, deck building big time. I mean, like it's at the point now where it's a big enough game that like once you step in with the cards that are currently set in standard, like someone's already figured out a better deck than you would be able to put together. So it's kind of morphed into download a deck that you think you're going to have fun with and then go out and make it and play with it and see how high you can rank up and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just like super basic.
You played that on
strategy.
like iPad or something, didn't you?
Yeah, I played it. I play it mostly mobile, but it can be played on PC and played a little bit on my computer.
Yeah, you're not the only one. There's a lot of people that have put in a lot of hours.
Yeah, well, and like it's funny because I didn't play, so probably went 2.5 years until like a month ago I re-downloaded it. And it had been a long time since I had played, and it's cool when you can get back into it after being away for a while because games like that, they have card rotations, so they're constantly releasing new sets and new cards to play with.
Yeah, making it fresh.
Exactly, but at a certain point they have to start removing cards. So once a year Hearthstone takes out 3 sets and then they progressively start adding more back in. And I happened to come back right as like a new set was going out, a new set was coming in, and it's all fresh again. It's like a different game than when I left 2.5 years ago.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they're good at making that game.
Yeah. Again, solid choices. For me, man, I don't have the hour count that you guys have on some of your top ones. I bet I've played more games than you guys, probably. Like more titles, because I dig into almost everything. So this is no particular order, probably. I'll start off with Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past.
Ooh, surprising.
Yeah, because I play it like once a year at least. Now, sometimes I don't finish it, but I'll still call them playthroughs. I've probably done like 30, 35 playthroughs of that game. I don't know how many hours that is, because I can finish it pretty quick now. It's actually running on the TV right now. Did I do that on purpose? I'm going to play it later. But yeah, I've played it so many times. It's the one that came out on Super Nintendo, so I've been playing it since I was like 10, probably.
How do you feel about A Link Between Worlds? That was
I love that too. Yeah. Link Between Worlds was released for 3DS, and it was almost a clone of Link to the Past. It's the same map.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Because I played that
fairy
one, but
fountains are in the same place. You know,
Wow.
you access the Dark World the same way. But it does change up a lot of the puzzle stuff, like in the dungeons and stuff, because in A Link Between Worlds, you can like go into the wall. You like become a part of the wall.
Love it.
Almost like you're a painting. So you become like 2-dimensional and you can get around some stuff. So they changed that, and obviously it's like 3D and stuff, and the story in the end game is different. But it's basically the same game. But yeah, I've played Link to the Past a lot. I don't know how many hours that is. I was kind of just going off playthroughs because, like I said, it's probably 30-ish.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what's disappointing is I have not played it in 2022 yet. I've still got some time.
Yeah.
So I'll get to it, but I just love it so much. I just love it. Have you guys seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. The very, very, very beginning of that movie,
Oh.
it plays the
I
opening
know exactly what you're talking
opening
about.
menu music. And it's just some like some chimes or something. But it's the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past opening as they zoom down on Scott Pilgrim's house. Love it. Love that movie.
Awesome movie.
Go watch
movie.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World if you haven't seen it. Super stylish. Awesome. So I guess that's my number one if I had one. The next one would probably be Fallout 3 because I did so much exploration in that game. I think I did almost every side quest. Drew, you played plenty of... No, you might have played
a
more
lot of
New
3.
Vegas.
No, I played way more 3.
Yeah. I just was... I talked about it earlier. It was kind of the place I was in my life, I guess. I just dove head first into that game. Everything is interesting. Every side quest, every little thing you come across that leads you to the next thing, or, when there's a new building or a city across the horizon, you're like, and it puts like a little icon on your compass and you haven't been there yet. I think I had all of, oh man, what's the DJ's name? Three Dog?
Yeah,
Three
Dog.
Dog?
Yep, totally 3 Dog.
I had all Three Dogs like stuff memorized. He was awesome. He was like a DJ because you could play your radio through your Pip-Boy. So he had all this old timey music and stuff. And it was just such a awesome adventure for me. Still a very special memory playing through that game because I did absolutely everything. So I don't know if I could tell you hours. I'm sure it was 200 to 300 probably. Because I played it for a long time and I did everything.
Well, and I know recently, didn't you say you went back and replayed 3 in the last year or two? I swear.
I tried to get back into it because it was on PlayStation Now.
Oh, okay.
And I got a free subscription to that through work. So I started messing around with it again. It hasn't aged super well.
Yeah, that's my issue. I tried playing it for the first time a few years ago. Zach was like, play this game. It's so fucking good. And I really couldn't get into it because, like you said, it didn't age well. So I respect that it's just objectively an amazing game, but it's not something I feel like I can play now.
Yeah, the gameplay is still tight because it almost plays like not a turn-based game. You can do the slow down time and aim at their head and kind of, you're not doing an action shooting. You're just telling your character what to do.
Turn-based light.
Yeah, kind of like. But that game's so amazing. So, I poured a ton of time into that. Like I said, I did everything. I collected all the bobbleheads. I remember there was one really hard to get because you have to blow up towards the end game. You have to blow up this building, and there's a bobblehead in there. If you don't get it first,
Yes, I remember
It
you
is
saying
gone
that
forever.
while I was blowing up the
I
building.
think it's the charisma bobblehead, to be honest. And then more recently, what Alyssa's playing now, Persona, because I grinded out Persona 5. I grinded out almost all of the compendium. I was only missing like
Wow.
4 or 5, I want to say. Had to use the internet to kind of get some of those. But some of them you have to, how you have to fuse the two different personas to get a new one. It's almost like you sacrifice them. They die in a guillotine? Is that what you do?
It's so dark and awesome.
It's weird.
so
So basically, Persona 5, it's almost like having Pokemon. So you have these personas that battle for you, like little ghosty creatures and whatnots. And if you take 2 together and murder them,
they fuse.
basically execute them like in a guillotine. It shows it, chops their head off and stuff. And they fuse, like their souls fuse and form like a new persona. But it's easily, you can miss some because you have to catch certain ones, and then you have to fuse those together and all this stuff. So I grinded out most of the compendium in that. So I probably put in, we were living together when I played this too.
we were. It was towards the end, but you were into it.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
It's so good. So Persona, almost all the compendium I played. Well, it's not really side quests. I mean, it rolls you through that game. I spent a ton of time in the metaverse. They've gotten to the metaverse where you can just go underground to the subway and
I like
level
that.
up.
It's great
and
for
stuff.
training and side quests and shit. It's nice.
Yeah, you can level up. So definitely Persona 5, Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, and Fallout 3 are probably my top. If I had honorable mentions, Drew, we were talking about this earlier.
Yeah.
You can't single out one edition of like MLB The Show, but if you took all the baseball games going back to like
So many
MLB
hours.
10 or something like that, I'm sure that's probably the most hours, at least for a franchise, that I've put in.
That's me. I wanted to say something about Pokemon because like I've never played
wow.
one
Yeah, that's a good
individual entry.
None of us
that
talked
much.
about Pokemon. Wow.
I was going to make sure we got that.
Well,
Actually,
you guys,
that
I
would
don't
definitely Emerald would be an honorable mention. Specifically, that game. When I was a kid, I played it nonstop. I would beat it, start over. I would play it, get all the Pokemon, start over. I was obsessed with that game.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I feel like I've played all of them pretty equally, but like I've played one Pokemon game a year
Yeah.
since.
And you guys are that age. You're like
Yeah,
the perfect age for Pokemon.
We
both
were
of you.
like,
Yeah.
I was in first grade when the first game came out, and I hopped on pretty much right away.
Yeah,
so
'cause
it was
you
like I have played every game since then. Figure 50, 60 hours average.
Yeah.
It adds
yeah,
up
you can
real
definitely
fast.
add in some time.
I almost
Yeah,
got hit by a car when I was a kid because I had the Game Boy Advance and I was playing Advanced Color. I don't know, the little red square one. And I was
SP.
crossing the street.
Yeah.
The SP.
It was the
I
first one backlit. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So good. And I was crossing the street playing Pokemon, not looking, and almost got hit by a fucking car.
Worth
In
it.
Kewaskum?
Yeah. So much traffic.
The two cars that drove by?
That's awesome.
Well, thank God you're okay.
Yeah. Whew.
So those are some of the games that we've played a lot, and that it sounds like we all loved them, right? So
Oh, yeah,
it's not like we got
Well,
into
Hyrule
some
Warriors
kind of
is a little iffy.
I just downloaded classic Angry Birds the other day. They
Oh, man.
they re-released.
I was
that
talking to
in the
somebody
App
else
Store.
about Angry Birds, or maybe
Freaking love Angry
or maybe
Birds.
we were talking about, man, way ahead of its time, the physics and
Yeah.
stuff, and all the birds do different things. And
So awesome.
Man.
And they're birds, dude.
I know, right? Yeah, they just need swords. So that's some of the stuff that we've played a lot. Let us know what you guys have played a lot of. Maybe it aligns with some of the stuff we've done. Maybe not. Be cool to hear some of the stuff that you guys have played. All right, we'll get into our last bit. We're going to have a great time, have some good fun with this last bit, and we'll see you on the backside of this break.
All right, we all know the struggle. You ask your friend to watch a movie, they won't watch it. For whatever reason, it's ridiculous, it's an amazing movie, they're going to love it, but they just won't watch it. My name's Daniel King. I host a podcast called It's Just Two Movies. Every week we try to pick one good movie and then another movie that's got something in common with it that's so bad it's good. Sometimes we hit the mark, sometimes the bad movie is just bad. But we'll sort through them all for you and we'll have some drinks and laughs along the way. We also pepper in a little improv comedy just because we have fun doing it. Also, no shortage of dick and fart jokes here, so if that's not your crowd, maybe it wasn't meant to be. Come check us out anywhere podcasts are found, Spotify, Apple Music, Rhapsody, iTunes, you know the places. Or check us out on social networks at It's Just Two Movies. All right, cheers.
Welcome, everybody. The stars are out in Hollywood. We've got a riveting game ahead. We've got our celebrity contestants, Alyssa and Drew. How are you guys doing this evening?
Still great.
Still great.
Excited, anxious.
I'm your host, Micah from Birds and Swords. We're going to play a riveting game of Describe a Video Game Poorly, and you guys will try to guess it. Are you excited?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's get started. All right. So this is not a buzz-in situation. I've got separate ones for both of you. I'm going to describe a video game poorly, and you are going to try to guess it.
Just shout out the answer.
No, you each have your separate ones. So you each have 5. I will rotate
I
back
see.
and forth,
Okay.
and and
Great.
maybe you'll both get them. I do have a tiebreaker in here if we need it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start with Alyssa. So do you understand the rules of the game?
I have
Or
to guess the game.
Have you seen
You're
these?
You're gonna, yeah.
I'm going to do
Can I
this.
guess at any time, or do you keep going?
Yeah,
or-
well, wait till I'm done. They're not long.
Okay.
I pulled most of these off Reddit. So your first one. A half Asian, half Canadian guy cruises around trying to escape the deadly ghosts and pick up healthy snack foods.
Half Asian, half Canadian. Picking up snack foods. Running from a ghost?
A half Asian, half Canadian guy cruises around trying to escape the deadly ghosts and pick up healthy snack foods.
I don't know this one either. I It's going to be super obvious when you tell us,
Yeah.
but I don't know it.
Oh my god. Do I get a hint?
No.
Fuck. Can I phone a friend? Fuck. We'll be here. I don't know it.
Do you have a guess?
I don't have a guess at all. There's no other hints. Can you give me anything?
It is a game that's been around for a very, very long time.
I know it.
It's been around for a very, very long time. It's not Pac-Man. He's not Canadian, right? He's Canadian? What the fuck?
Well, if you've seen South Park,
Oh,
the flappy-
fuck. Yes.
with the flappy flaps
Kick
of
the
their mouths.
baby. Oh my god. I can't
Yes.
believe I guessed that.
Well done.
Nice, thank you.
So
Wow.
Alyssa's got one. Alyssa, can you keep score?
Yeah, give me
I'm juggling too
give me
many
the
things here.
stuff. Give me. All right. I will definitely not add extra
So the
points.
answer
You be fair now.
was Pac-Man. All right, Drew, are you ready?
Go.
Form an elite team of soldiers to fight an army of robots, only to fight each other instead for the control of a limousine.
For the control of a limousine?
Limousine?
Man.
Form an elite team of soldiers to fight an army of robots, but only to fight each other instead for control of a limousine.
Man, the limousine thing keeps trying. Oh, man. Limousine. Alyssa, looks like you know this.
I don't. I have no idea.
Control of a limousine.
Would you like a hint?
I would. I get hints and she doesn't?
That's fucked.
That doesn't seem
That's
fair, but I'll take
sexist.
it.
Did I not give you a hint? I said it was a very, very old game. That was
Yeah,
your hint.
That's not a
That's a bit
hint.
of a
There's a
hint.
lot of old games.
Okay.
Okay,
All
sorry.
right, well, you gave her a hint, so now I want a hint.
Yeah.
We have talked about this game tonight.
Overwatch.
It is Overwatch.
Oh.
Is the limo?
The
Oh,
limousine.
God.
Okay.
The fucking payload.
Wow.
Duh. Okay.
Are you certain we've played all the games that you're asking us?
Yes, I chose separate ones
Okay.
based on your whatever.
Great. That's going to make me feel even worse.
All right. So he got that one with a hint.
God damn.
The limousine.
Keep
is
in
what got
mind,
me.
whoever wins gets nothing.
Oh,
That's
shit.
fair.
I want this.
I'm going to go rate your fridge whether I win or lose, so.
Alyssa, are you ready?
Yes.
This one's short. A teen moves to Tokyo and hunts cougars.
Like hot mom cougars, or we're not talking Persona 5, are we? Is it Persona 5?
It is Persona 5.
Hey!
Man, the first thing that came to mind was Pokemon. I feel like that also would have worked.
I was going to say Big Hero 6, but then I was like,
Nice.
wait.
And that one kind of works into your post the other day because you were romancing an older woman in that game.
Yes, the doctor, the hot goth doctor.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Drew, are you ready for your next one?
I'm ready.
Winning is bittersweet. Yeah, you get the gold, but you never got the cool power-ups. Winning is bittersweet. Yeah, you get the gold, but you never got the cool power-ups.
Rogue Legacy. Oh, what was it?
No. It's actually Mario Kart.
Okay, yeah, that works. That
wow.
works.
Because if
I
you're in the
would never
lead,
gotten that one.
Yeah.
all you get is bananas.
That's a good
and
guess, though.
Bullshit.
Well, damn.
Good.
Mark me. I got that point.
Okay. Alyssa, are you ready for your next one?
Yes.
A schizophrenic wakes up in a weird bathtub and is told by a dead guy that he needs to find his 4 dead friends and to save his daughter, who is over 100 years old.
Breath of the Wild.
Wow.
It was the girlfriend part, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that, having never played any of the other ones, would that not have worked for all of the other Zelda games as well? Or is she not 100 years old in all the other
Well,
No.
and in this one, she talks to you.
ones? Okay.
That's like where the schizophrenia comes in, because she talks to you every once in a
Oh
while.
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
The I'm glad I didn't think about the schizophrenia because that would have thrown me off. But the 100-year-old dead, or yeah, the other stuff I got.
Nailed it.
Thank you.
Absolutely nailed it.
Woo.
All right. Okay. All right. So we're back to Drew.
Yes, sir.
This is a good one. All right. Are you ready?
Ready.
Try to figure out which dialogue options get you to the lesbian shower sex scene the fastest.
That is definitely Mass Effect.
Is that the first game?
To be honest, I don't know if there actually is a lesbian shower scene. That seems a little further than they would have taken it, but I also wouldn't be surprised.
It says
There were always love scenes. Like if,
Right.
you,
Just
if you
anywhere.
played the romance correctly, you always got like a love scene.
Okay.
But they
Yeah.
were pretty.
And it
Tone
even
down.
says, or someone commented, that lesbian sex scene was pathetic, by the way. They had underwear on in the shower, for Christ's sake.
Pathetic.
I always played as Manship.
All right. Well, you should have rethought that.
Yeah, clearly.
Okay. Alyssa, are you ready?
Yes.
You might get this one past too. You're on a roll. So here we go.
Now
You
I'm
ready?
nervous. Okay.
An all-star sports player from the future, but actually the past, but actually a dream, wakes up on a beach to tag
Titus.
along on a religious journey to kill a massive flying whale.
Final Fantasy X. That was Titus.
Wow.
I was lost. I had no idea on that one.
Oh yeah, we love a good Final Fantasy plot.
I didn't either, but maybe that was too detailed on the description. I thought about leaving out the flying whale, but you got it before I even got there.
Yeah, she was.
I
on
got
that
it as
one.
soon as you said sports player from the past, but the future, but a dream.
That was when you said sports player. I was like, yeah, I might know this one, and then you took it a bit.
What sport?
Like,
What
I have
sport did
no
he play?
idea.
He
Some kind
played
of
a
fictional.
blitzball, and it fucking sucked. I hated
blitzball.
that game. Hated it.
How do
And
you
they
play-
forced you to play it.
Does that have many similarities with Quidditch?
I don't think it has similarities with anything. You're
How
in
do you
like a
play
ball of water. Okay, blitzball. You're in a ball of water, literal sphere of water. And the thing about Final Fantasy that they don't ever address is that people in the world of Final Fantasy X can like hold their breath forever or breathe underwater. We don't know. And they just go into the sphere of water, and it's like, maybe it's kind of like soccer, but they can grab the ball and then you just want to get it to the goal and you pass it to each other and swim around. And it's very chaotic and strange, and the mechanics of the gameplay were just dreadful.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That does sound kind of like Quidditch.
Okay. I guess I don't really know Quidditch. Actually, for the longest time, I didn't even know what Quidditch was. What did I picture when people talk? Because the other day I saw Quidditch players walking around. No, that was lacrosse. See, fuck, I don't know my sports.
Do you use a stick with a basket on the end of it?
Quidditch is Harry Potter?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the fake one.
yeah.
From the okay.
Yep.
There's not a real Quidditch?
I don't know.
We don't have flying brooms.
Well,
I don't know.
It wouldn't be very exciting.
Damn. All
People
right.
are pretty dedicated to Harry Potter, so they're probably.
What am I
is.
thinking of?
And
Maybe
if you're
cricket.
not, I will fight
I'm
you.
thinking of cricket.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I went on a cricket when I actually lived here. I went on for one summer. I watched a bunch of cricket.
You
'cause it was-
watched cricket?
It's real.
Don't the games last like 15 hours?
It's really
really
close to
long.
baseball.
Got it.
It's-
I get it.
I still don't understand it, but I watched it for like a whole summer.
Yeah, you have to they pitch it and you have to hit it off a bounce or something.
Yeah, it's
crazy.
nuts.
All right, Drew, are you ready for your final one? What's the score?
She
I have
wins.
5, and this is his 4th, but he has 3 so far.
So this is a pity.
Or yeah, this could be his 4th.
You guys are doing well though.
Thank you.
All right. I mean, Alyssa's doing well.
You got all of them except
you only
one
missed
so
you only
far.
missed one.
And I'm just gonna go ahead and say it was the hardest one. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. Actually,
This one's kind of vague, but you might get it. Okay, it's also short. Are you ready?
Yes.
Mailman gets injured on the job, but continues to finish his delivery.
This seems way too obvious.
Mailman gets injured on the job, but continues to finish his delivery.
Man, I feel like I should just have this at the tip of my tongue.
You should. You've played it a lot.
Well, I was gonna say, why does it feel like I've probably played it a ton? A mailman.
is it something I've played? Do you know?
Man.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, I have to pass on it. I have no idea.
I really want to.
Is Fallout New Vegas.
Oh, I wouldn't have known that one.
When it came out, it was super buggy, and I very much remember playing New Vegas, and every 45 minutes to an hour, it just crashed. And if I
Yeah,
hadn't,
it was
if I
kinda
hadn't
rough on
saved,
PS3.
saved recently, and like at a certain point, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, your character gets shot in the head, right? At the
Yeah.
very beginning,
Yep.
buried even.
Yep.
And then you get dug up by this dude who wants you to deliver a package, and the
And
rest
then-
of the game goes from there.
Yeah, and
Wow.
the story from there, I will say, what I remember is absolutely insane. You're trying to get to the dude who's like encased in a machine to stay alive. It was awesome.
All right, I've got
Spoiler
one
alert.
more. So Alyssa wins. Congratulations.
Big time. Well done.
Thank you.
Hope you heard that.
Yay!
All the kids love it. So either of you can chime in on this one. You've both played it. Ready?
Yes. No. Yes.
A man hates his boss so much that he kills him and all of his coworkers without a shirt on.
Can I go? Is it God of War?
It is God of War.
Just talking about that outside.
Very nice. I really like
point.
that description.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
He hates
That's
his
a good
boss, so he
description.
kills him.
It was the shirtless part that tipped me off.
Yeah.
That's an awesome series.
Very good. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. I found most of those on Reddit. I thought about writing some myself, but I don't know. Time got away from me. So, and Reddit's pretty good for that kind of thing.
Yeah. You have no shortage of bad game descriptions on Reddit. That's
Right.
right.
Yep. So that's a good time. We're going to play more games in the future. I have a couple other ideas as well. Got all the sound effects rolling and all that good stuff finally. So that's a really good time. And you could kind of play along with that too if
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
listening.
you totally can.
Or if you want to submit some to me, DM me and we can play it again. Or if you have any other ideas for game type games that I can torture Alyssa and guests on, I will definitely do that.
You told me we were doing a fun segment for the last one, and I still, up until you actually started it, I still thought we were doing 20 questions.
Yeah. Yeah. Video game 20 questions is fun. There's another podcast that does that through IGN. And we might steal it at some point. I don't think anybody's got a trademark on 20 questions. Yeah, so more fun things to come. We'll be doing stuff like that. Drew, thanks for coming on, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was
Good luck
was a good
with
time.
let us know how Ben progresses. And we were talking on break about getting some pictures of him playing something, because I've actually seen him do it.
Yeah, I'll throw that video up on the Facebook page.
Yeah, he knows that analog stick moves that bright colored blob
Exactly.
on the TV.
Yep.
Like, he definitely knows. Alyssa, any parting words?
Goodbye.
Goodbye for now.
And we're out.
Yeah. So that's a wrap for tonight. We will talk to you guys soon. Have a good one, and we are out.
Now exclusively on YouTube, The Barn plays host to a number of podcasts that include Girl Dad, Vulgar Display of Podcasts, Birds and Swords, live sessions from The Barn, Wax World, the Chris Sable Power Hour, and Knuckleball Primetime. Please like, share, and subscribe to all of our content.